Unfortunately, this is a downside of this sort of overnight fame that all of you guys have had to experience now. You come out of the villa, or like any of these big reality shows, everyone knows everything about you instantly. And you have to suddenly deal with what happens social media-wise. And you have particularly struggled with this, Sarah. It hasn't been an easy few weeks.
Yeah, I think in Love Island, it's an overnight fame you find, whereas with a lot of other celebrities, it's kind of like a gradual thing. This is, you are like catapulted into this world where all of a sudden people feel like they have the right to comment negatively about everything you do just because you're in the public eye. And I think that's kind of a controversial thing to do.
Yeah, I mean, you consider yourself, and we all saw you as being this very young, strong, independent woman in there. But you would say it is still tough, regardless of how strong you feel.
Yeah, and I don't think it's the comments so much that are tough for me, because I understand that people have opinions. It's actually the fact that, because I can't empathise with someone else who chooses to comment negatively on my appearance, because I would never do it to someone else, ever. I never commented on celebrities' pictures when I was, before I was on Love Island, and I still never would. So I can't understand why other people would do it.
It does take a special type of person, I think, to comment. But what sort of things are we talking about? What have you had to deal with?
I mean, I can read out some of the comments for you.
Well, look, if you want to, this is the sort of thing that you found fairly offensive.
Yeah. So, she's breathing in so much, it hurts to look at. Think that bikini is a bit small for you, love. Looks like she smooshed her together for a pic. Why not just get a boob job to go with all the other plastic? Like, but I've not had surgery, so I'm not.
You know it's not real.
Yeah,
so...
I'm not going to allow someone to cast that judgment on me that's absolutely not true.
Yeah, and you've spoken before about having had a fairly tough time at school when you were about 14, I think. You're a very young girl, really, at that stage. Is this sort of echoing back to how you felt back then? Yeah,
and I think back then I was so shy, insecure. People used to shout comments at me, really nasty things around school, when I'd just be walking around and I'd almost cut up into a ball and just not responding. I feel like now I'm strong enough and I'm confident enough to stand up to these people, because I'm not having it.
And it's something that you do want to do. You want to stand up. You'd love to sort of get into schools and talk to young people about social media.
Exactly.
And what you write doesn't disappear either. That's what people need to remember.
Exactly. I think the main thing, the message I'd want to send to trolls and stuff, is remember what you're putting out there. Because think about if you're trying to find a job, and you can look at someone's Instagram handle and look at all of the comments that they've made. I mean, if I'm an employer and I'm looking up a girl's Instagram or a guy's Instagram handle, I can see on Google all of the negative comments that they've made. Why would I then want to employ them? You're leaving a footprint.
I don't really try to look at them as much. I don't try to get involved, but the way I sort of deal with it, I'm very sarcastic, and I think almost kill them with kindness, because at the end of the day, the people that are probably commenting are quite insecure with the things they're commenting about. I think the people that are commenting would probably regret some of the things they say the instant they almost press send. I almost think that Instagram sometimes should have a final answer button before you comment something, because I think a lot of people would maybe change their mind.
And then they probably a lot of the time just think you don't see it. It actually doesn't really matter, but we're saying it does matter.
Yeah.
Adam, you again have spoken about having a tough enough time at school, and it really affected you actually as a young boy.
Yeah, I mean, I was quite overweight during school time.
Well, how old were you there, Adam?
I mean, that was probably 10 or 11, maybe even 12.
Just a wee boy at
Yeah,
that stage.
I mean, there was a couple when I was older which I couldn't really find, because I hid them so well, because I was so embarrassed. It was all the way up until about 16, and then the 16 to 17s when I started changing a little bit. But I could come home and get away from it then. And when it's on Instagram and it's on Twitter, you can't really get away with it, because it is constantly popping up on your phone. And I think people need to realise that, because we do see a lot more than people probably expect. Yes, there's 4,000 comments, but when there is a one that stands out, it's going to come at the top of our feed, even for us. And we are normal people. Just because we've got a blue tick, we're not a punch bag to all these comments.
Well, I suppose when you're that age as well, 10 and whatever many years ago that was, the social media thing wasn't quite as in your face. It's nowadays, unfortunately, straight away people pick their phones up and think that they have a direct line to you. And it's a difficult thing to deal with. But can you see yourself getting sort of more robust with this as the time goes on, Zara?
So. I think it's going to take me a little while. I just think that the main thing for me is just I don't want people thinking that it's okay, and almost sometimes I think by allowing people to get away with making horrible comments, I'm allowing that behaviour. But I think the main thing that I want to do is just I'd love to go into schools and just talk to students about my experiences in school and also almost kind of how successful I was in my career and kind of still am becoming successful and all of the things that I've taken from that. I mean, I'd love to be able to inspire young people.
Yeah, of course. Well, I mean, you're both obviously happy now as well, irrespective of all the other stuff. We're talking about moving in and all sorts, aren't we? Isn't that right?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah?
Yeah, definitely.
Well, you got tattoos now, haven't you?
Well, yeah.
Well, I saw Caroline on After Some. You've got... Oh, you see, you've got this cute little... Can I see that? You see, that's cute. It's important. Of course, we had Sophie Graydon, who was in Love Island just a couple of years ago, who did
Well, yeah,
speak...
she was in my friendship group as well.
Oh, was she
Yeah.
indeed? And so you know exactly the effect that these things have.
Well, that's what I mean. And honestly, Sophie, when I knew Sophie, was one of the strongest girls I know. And it just proves that it can get to anyone. And people really need to think. I mean, Zara's getting better and better at dealing with it. And even me, but I'm glad we've got each other during this time because it's at its highest now when we've just came out and everybody's jumping on the bandwagon.